Living in Calgary was difficult, especially being a person of color and living on the streets. Calgary has very limited supports and funding for the marginalized community. There's a lot of systemic racism that goes on in the city, especially in Alberta. So it was a tough time. Calgary was rough, but at the very least in Calgary, I knew people, so I'd have to couch surf. I was at my lowest point when I went to Edmonton. So I went to Edmonton, I didn't know anybody. They only had one youth shelter. And that youth shelter, they kick you out 6 a.m. in the morning. You're not allowed back till 11 p.m. Maybe things have changed. I'm talking about when I was 15. So this is 10 years ago. Maybe things have changed. When I was 15 years old, they had one youth shelter. And if that youth shelter, I got to a fight at that youth shelter. So then I couldn't go sleep anywhere. I slept inside West Edmonton Mall. You know, I slept inside the bank because I got kicked out the youth shelter. So it was really, really bad. At the moment, I felt like it was the worst thing possible. In hindsight, it was actually the best experience for me because I had to learn how to fend for myself. I learned about how to deal with people. You know, that's the biggest thing I got from living on the streets. See, because especially when you live in a shelter system, because I ended up living in a shelter system, you can't run away. You can't be like, I'm gonna run in my room or I'm gonna isolate myself. You know, the shelter system, you have a roommate, you have staff you have to check in with, and when you leave your roommate, you have other people you have to interact with. So it forced me to become social. And it forced me to become social. And I would say I wasn't as social before. I dropped out of school because of social anxiety. So if it wasn't for living on the streets, I may never be the social person I am today.